Python functions explained in 10 minutes. Better understand functions, we need to use functions in actual projects. That's why we're going to be using functions in our calculator project, which we're going to be doing today. And functions could come in real handy when we're creating a calculator project. In this project, we're going to be creating four functions for four of the arithmetic operations that we're going to be using: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's start by learning to define the function. In order to define a function, you need to use the keyword def, and then you gotta give your function a meaningful name, like so. This name should tell anybody what this function's about, and you gotta add parentheses and a colon. Now, in these parentheses, we could place two parameters. If you don't know what parameters are places of the function where we could give inputs. And the function could take these inputs and do something and return it back to us. And we have to code all that stuff, which we're going to be doing. Now, inside the function, you need to have an indent. If you have an indent, you know that you're inside the function. And inside this function, we're going to place a return statement. And what this return statement is going to do is it's going to take x and y and it's going to return the sum of x and y back to addition. Think of it like you ordering a package to Amazon. The package is ready. If and the return function is like the delivery to your house. If you didn't have the return function, the package would be ready, but you would never get it. That's basically it. And now let's create our other functions. Since our other functions are gonna be pretty similar to this, sorry, we're just gonna copy this and paste it like so. Our second function is gonna be subtraction, and easy. Do the same thing for multiplication, and the same thing for division. And this is going to be, oh my bad, perfect. We've completed part 1 of this tutorial. Now let's head on to part 2. Firstly, now we're gonna create a variable called num1. What num1 is gonna do is it's gonna ask the user for their input using the input function, and then we're gonna convert that input into an int. This is really important because we need to tell Python that whatever the input the user's entering is a number, not a letter or something else. And we're gonna ask them the question, what is your first number? Like so. Our second question is gonna be very similar to this. Therefore, we could just copy this and paste it and change the name of the variable to num2 and this to second. So num1 and num2. So now, just to give you an idea of how these functions work, we could use the print function and call our add function. This is how you call it. You write the name and put those parentheses, and inside those parentheses, we could put in our inputs, num1 and num2. So what What Python's gonna do now is it's gonna now that it knows that we've called it, it's gonna take num1 and it's gonna put it over here, num2 over here. Then it's gonna combine both and return the sum back to add. Remember the package? And then it's gonna print it onto the terminal. Now let's see how it works, or does it actually work? What is your first number? Let's reach this. What is your first number? My first number is 9. What is your second number? It is 9. And we got the answer, 18. I hope you know how it works. Now, you could go on with this, s- like so, but we want to give the user an option, right? What an option to pick what arithmetic operation they want to use. That's why we could create another variable called option. And what we could do with option is we could ask them for their choice of arithmetic operation. We could ask them choose, actually pick an operation. Actually, and what we could do now is actually print. Uh, uh, my bad. Actually, this should be an input. Trial and error is part of coding. And what we could do now is we could actually use the print functions to give them their list of choices, like, my bad, addition equals that to make it simpler. And since the others are very similar to this, we could just copy this to save some valuable time. So change that to a 2, change that to subtraction. And also, we forgot to change that to a subtraction. And we could copy both now to make the process way faster. To change that to a, my bad. Make sure your code is very clean and change this to a division. And don't forget to change the symbols as well. Change that to a 4 and change that to a multiplication. So we're pretty much almost actually done. Now let's just see. All this is gonna appear on the terminal. Now let's see if we have a clean code. And actually over here, just give a space so the code is more cleaner. What is your first number? My first number is 10. 10. Nothing happens, but we get our list of choices: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Pick an operation, and nothing happens. Good. Now we know that our code is working. What we could do now is we could use if statements. If option equals addition, we could call print add and parentheses num1 num2. So let's see if this works. Trial and error is part of coding. So 10, pick an operation, addition, and we got 20. Now that we know this is working, we could be smart and Control C and Control V and change this to an L if because um and change that to subtraction, and this time we are going to call subtraction. Don't forget to do this because this is very important. So Control C again and Control. Oh my bad. And when you know when you have an indent, that means you're still in elif. So here we got an elif again. Change this to multiplication. Change that to multi. So multi and division. Division. So this we are actually almost done. And now let's type in an else statement because if these users type in something that's not addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, we should be able to tell them try again. And we are done. All we need to do is run this. What is your first number? My first number is 9. What's your second number? My second number is 10. We got our options. Pick, okay, division. Actually, let's pick subtraction. And we got -1. So 9 and 10. Okay. So now that we know that this works, that's it for this tutorial. If you want more tutorials like this, subscribe and like the video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.